All right, so today's notes are about solving equations. The first thing we're going to do is actually check and see if we have a true equation or a false equation. All right, we're going to check our solution to see if it is true. All right, so what this means for our first one is in this equation, everywhere we see A, we're going to plug in 3, and they're going to evaluate it and see if it actually is true. All right, so -8, I have again A, so we're going to plug in 3, plus 3 equals 27. All right, now let's work this out and see if it works. -8 times 3 is -24, plus 3 equals 27. -24 plus 3 is -21 equals 27. Wait a minute. -21 does not equal 27. All right, this is false. A equals 3 is not a solution for this. All right, let's go over here to B. And we're going to do the same thing. Everywhere we see B in this expression, we're going to plug in 2. So 9 minus 2 equals -14. 9 minus 2 is 7 equals -14. No, 7 doesn't equal -14. That doesn't work either. This one is also false. All right, if we had a true one, all right, we would have ended up here with -14 equals -14. If we had a true solution over here, we would have ended up with 27 equals 27. All right, if it's true, if your solution works, you're going to end up with a number equals itself. All right, if you end up with anything that's not that, 7 does not equal 14, then it is false. You do not have a solution for your equation. All right, scrolling down. When solving, remember, do the same thing to both sides. Show your steps. Even if you think you can do it in your head, write it down. There's going to be a day where there's going to be too many things and you're going to miss writing something down correctly. So just write it down. And then lastly, think about your answer. If you've got an answer in a decimal form and you didn't start out with decimals at the beginning of the problem, then you need to give me your answer in a different form. All right, don't give me a decimal if you didn't start out with decimals. Make sure that your answers are reasonable. All right, so C. I'm actually wanting to solve for C. All right, in order to do that, I need to get the term with C in it by itself on one side of the equal sign. So what's over here with this? This -14. So we need to do the same thing to both sides, and I need to use the inverse operation. The inverse of it, subtraction, is addition. So I'm going to add 14 to both sides. Those cancel out. That leaves me with 2C equals what? Well, 6 plus 4 is 10. Carry the 1, 3, 4, 5. So 2C equals 15. 2C really means 2 multiplied by C. So we want to do the inverse operation again. Opposite of inverse of multiplication is division. So I'm going to divide both sides by 2. 2. So I get these 2 cancel out. C equals 25. All right, let's repeat the process over here. D. Number 1, I want to get the D term by itself, so this has got to go. So -11 minus 11. So 3/8 D equals -1 minus 11, -12. All right, now this is a fraction. So really what this is saying is 3 times D divided by 8. So we could multiply everything by 8 and then divide it by 3. Or we can do them both at the same time. So to get rid of a fraction, you multiply by the reciprocal, which means you flip it over. So we're going to multiply both sides by 8/3. So times 8/3. All right. My 8's here cancel out. Do you see this? And my 3's cancel out, leaving me with just D equals. And this is where you got to know your math, or we can do a quick simplifying. So here we can either say 12 times 8 and then divide it by 3. Or you can remember that we can cancel things out because 3 goes into 12. So 3 goes into 3 one time, 3 goes into 12 4 times. So -4 times 8 is -32. So D equals -32 is my answer. All right, moving on down to F. 2F equals 7F minus 8. All right, I want all my F's on one side, all my numbers on one side. I'm looking here. I see I have 7 F's over here and 2 F's over here. I'm going to move my F's all the way over to the right. so that I have the bigger one there. All right, so minus 2f minus 2f, so 0. Don't forget, just because I don't have anything over there doesn't mean it's completely blank. Put a 0 in. Equals 5f minus 8. I want the constant on the other side, so I'm going to add 8 to both sides. So I get 8 equals 5f. Divide both sides by 5. So I get f is equal to 8/5. Now, does it matter which side of the equal sign my variable is on? Does it matter if I say 8/5 equals f or f equals 8/5? No, it does not matter. It means the same thing. So you can say it either way. We are perfectly fine having a variable on the left side or the right side of the equal sign. Just make sure that you give me a positive variable. I don't care what negative f is. I want to know what f is. All right, g is more of the same that we just did. So let's look at j. For j, this is one where we're going to have to distribute before we can solve it. So let's distribute. Right? So 9 times j gives me 9j. 9 times positive 2 gives me a positive 18. Bring down my equal sign. 3 times 6 gives me 18. 3 times positive 3j gives me a positive 9j. All right, so let's pick a side. Let's put all my j's are positive, so let's put all my j's on the left, right? So minus 9j, minus 9j. Wait a minute, that cancels out. Okay. Well, let's put our 18s together. So minus 18, minus 18. All right, so we ended up with 0 equals 0. So what exactly does that mean? All right, it means that this is always true. This means that it doesn't matter what the value of our variable is. We can plug in any number for j, and it's going to always be true because we have equivalent amounts of j here on both sides, and they're always going to cancel out. So it doesn't matter what j is. This equation is always true. All right, and that is it for today. If you have any questions, be sure and send me an email. Good luck with your homework.